Hi, I'm Mike Rothstein, Michigan men's basketball beat writer for AnnArbor.com. I'm here with my colleague Dave Birkett to preview the Michigan 2009-2010 basketball season. Dave, what do you think so far about this Michigan team? I know they've only had one exhibition and they start the season Saturday against Division II Northern Michigan, but they're playing a pretty tough schedule and the Big Ten looks really deep. What do you think might happen?
Big Ten's loaded this year, and Michigan's schedule is no joke. I mean, the trip to Kansas, obviously the Big Ten ACC Challenge, they're going to have their work cut out for them. But, I think coming off last year, making the NCAA tournament, winning a game in the tournament, that bodes well. And when you look at the talent on the roster, it's clearly better than what they've had the last couple of years. Manny Harris a year better, Deshaun Sims a year better, and maybe they finally got some help at point guard too.
Yeah, I absolutely think they have some help at point guard. Darius Morris looks like he's absolutely legitimate. He's a guy who is a pure point guard, has played point guard his whole life, has never been shy of the spotlight. He's a very comfortable kid. He's a very confident kid too. He likes to play defense. Beeline's been really, really big on that in the preseason so far. And the thing with their schedule too is I like their selection. Now they didn't know this at the time of preseason tournaments this year. Not only because they get to go to Orlando over Thanksgiving and hang out at Universal Studios and Disney World, but very simply, it's not the loaded field that a Maui might be for a freshman point guard. You're playing in a field that has a lot of teams that are not as good as Michigan might be, or they're on the same level. They'll open with Creighton. They're going to play either Xavier, which is always a decent team, but then you have a team that's still learning a new head coach after Sean Miller left, and then you have a Marquette team that's really rebuilding. On the other side of the draw, you have Alabama and Florida State, but none of those teams are Kansas, North Carolina, Duke. Some of those big power programs. You get those later, and that gives Michigan time and confidence, perhaps, of winning a title.
Yeah, so Michigan can navigate. If they can navigate that early portion of the schedule, you can build a little bit of confidence. And you mentioned the defensive thing. I mean, I think especially for Morris, getting comfortable in that defense. The offense too, but that defense, because he's going to be playing a lot, he's going to play a lot of minutes, and he's going to be real key to what they do. And if they can develop some depth down low, some of those big men can put up some numbers early. I think that bodes well for what really is a tough Big Ten slate.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the thing too with the Big Ten is that you look at the way Beeline created the schedule. It's good because they're going to be tested before they get to what might be the toughest Big Ten in many, many years. When you look, there's 8 teams, maybe even 9 teams that have legitimate arguments that they could be in the NCAA tournament, and I think Indiana is probably going to be better than a lot of people think. Iowa's the only team that you pretty much know where they're going to end up at the end of the year. But you look at that Big Ten schedule, there's a couple sections in there that are really, really difficult too, and Michigan's going to have to learn how to navigate that. But I think that Utah, Boston College, Kansas kind of string of games that are right there bunched together in the first couple weeks of December will maybe show some sort of longer stretch of what they're going to see in the Big Ten when they have to go to Wisconsin, to Purdue, and then face Michigan State.
The only thing I'd be a little bit leery of is the whole confidence factor. If you lose those 3 games, maybe you start doubting yourself a little bit. And the other thing from Michigan's standpoint, I think, is you kind of have to define what's going to be a successful season, because I don't see them winning the Big Ten. I don't see them finishing in the top 2 or 3, really. They should make the NCAA tournament, though. So is Sweet 16, is that successful?
Yeah, I think Sweet 16 is successful. I think they can finish in the top 3 in the Big Ten preseason poll. I picked them 3rd as an AP voter. I have them 12th in the country right now, the 3rd Big Ten team. That said, Ohio State looked really, really good in their opener. However, the thing is yeah, you say Sweet 16, and I think that's a good barometer, a good place that they should aim for sure. But as you know, in the NCAA tournament, unless you're Kansas this year, or if you're maybe Michigan State this year, it's all about the draw. Right. They face a team that's 6'11", 6'11", 6'8" in the first round of the NCAA tournament on the front line. That's going to be a team that gives them problems. Now, but you look at last year, that matchup against Clemson was perfect for them. It hit exactly what they want to do, and they got a pretty good second-round matchup in Oklahoma because of the size factor. Right. So I think that while they can say Sweet 16, I mean, as long as they make the tournament, win a game in the tournament, I think that's still a successful season just because of the draw factor.
You're really buying into Michigan early, though, with having them number 12 and 3 in the Big Ten. I think Manny Harris is real good. I'd like to see a little bit more out of Deshaun Sims before I go that high. I do think that, Michigan State, Purdue, and Ohio State are probably the 3 best teams in the Big Ten. But as you said, Illinois, I mean, there's some other good teams in the league, too. So it'll be anxious to see how good they are before they get to Big Ten play.
Yeah, I'm Mike Rothstein.
And I'm Dave Birkett.
Thanks for checking us out. We'll be back again soon with more talk about Michigan men's basketball.